Joining us now is Professor Edmund Tayao, President and CEO of the Political Economic Elemental Researchers and Strategists, or PEERS. Prof, thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right, Prof, let's start off with the issue of, former ES Lucas Bersamin's claim na hindi daw siya tinanggal at Malacanang claims that he was removed. What do you think is happening here?
Hindi siya nag-file ng
Alam
resignation.
ko, anyone in the cabinet serves, sabi nga nila, no, quote-unquote, at the pleasure of the president. So, to my mind, the significance of which is the same, no? Whether you resigned or you were asked to resign or tinanggal, doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, the position really depends mainly on the trust and confidence of the president. So, I'm inclined to think that given the statement of the former executive secretary, he acknowledges this, and even in the supposed kasi sabi niya hindi siya nag-resign, so I'm using the phrase supposed resignation letter. The first line says the first line acknowledges, no, that the appointing power really has the prerogative, no, to choose who will serve in the first as the first official family of the president. So yeah, it doesn't really matter to me. What matters significantly is the question whether it has something to do with the controversy
Right.
that is being heard now.
Why would then Malacanang come out and say that he resigned rather than just say, we removed him? Is this a matter of optics given Saldico's statements?
Pwedeng optics, no, or pwedeng yun naman talaga ang kanilang pagtingin diyan, no, kasi katulad nga, no, I've seen a number of those who underwent or experienced the same process, no. Kasi kahit naman nag-resign ka pero binigyan ka na ng thank you letter, ibig sabihin binigyan ka na ng signal to resign. So paano mo i-interpret 'yon? Nag-resign ka o tinanggal ka? But just the same, the effect is equivalent.
Yeah.
No? So you're no longer in the position. So to my mind, it could be optics because at the end of the day, this is political, whether we like it or not.
Okay, so what do you say about nga paano po itong ginawa nila kay former ES Lucas Bersamin and also Budget Secretary Amina Pangandaman na they were removed or they resigned in the position because of yung natag yung pangalan nila doon nga sa statement na may kinalaman sila sa mga budget scheme. And kasama rin yung grand nephew, ba, ni ES Bersamin. What do you say about yung issue ng nepotism and the way they was let go? And do you believe na meron silang hand dito sa nangyari sa budget scheme na to?
Maraming marami ang tanong mo, no? So isa una yung nepotism. Yung nepotism hindi mo maiaalis yan sa klase ng gobyerno natin at sa klase ng politika natin, no? Paulit-ulit kong sinasabi na ang problema wala sa personalidad. Kaya lalo na kapag ka nagpo-post ako at binabanatan ako ng mga DDS, nilalagyan ko na lang ng smiley kasi natatawa na ako no? Kasi ang babaw kasi ng mga banat. Hindi nila maintindihan na ang issue ng korupsyon hindi kayang i-explain ng isang personalidad at hindi din kayang solusyonan ng isang personalidad. No, kaya ako sinasabi ito kasi yung question mo ng nepotism dahil nga limitado yung klase ng politika natin sa mga personalidad kaya tinatagalog ko na baka hindi pa ako maintindihan no, talagang kukuha ka ng tao na malapit sa iyo.
Correct.
Kasi wala kang mekanismo we have no real political parties and even the civil service, no, pasensya na pero pasintabi sa mga profesional na naninilbihan sa gobyerno pero ang katotohanan niyan, bago ka makapasok, siyempre kailangan alam mo kung merong bakanting pwesto. So, merong tutulong sa iyo para makapasok dyan. Now, it's more a question of performance more than whether or not one is related to another. Because again, if I may emphasize, talagang personalan ang ang tawag dito sistema, no, for lack of a better term, na meron tayo sa gobyerno. Ngayon, may kinalaman ba sila o wala? Babalikan natin ulit yung sistema kasi hindi pa kaya minsan natatawa na lang ako. Ngayon naiinis na rin ako doon sa pinipilit nitong mga DDS na wala pa daw napapakulong. Alam mo, kahit na saang sulok ka ng mundo magpunta, kapag meron kang kinasuhan, unang-una iimbestigahan mo muna yan. You will be in other words, it takes time before it actually happens. And how much time have passed already since the bombshell from the president himself that there are these scandalous transactions? No? So, ini-expect mo kagad may makukulong. Hindi naman katulad nung nakaraang administrasyon yan na pagka ikaw pinagsuspetsahan, hindi ka na nga kakasuhan no? Alam mo na, itutumba ka na lang. Ganun ang hindi pwedeng ganun no? But I'm still inclined to think, and this was even acknowledged by Baguio City Mayor Magalong himself, no, who enjoys at least some confidence as far as the public is concerned. Na siya mismo tinanong, maayos ba yung proseso ng ICI? Tinanong din siya, bakit hindi tinetelevised ng ICI? In-explain niyang mabuti ito na maayos man ang proseso ng ICI and so on and so on. So my point is, we have to allow the whole process to actually happen and find out kung ang resulta nito katulad nung Napoles dati at saka yan yung pinakamatindi tong Parmali. Isang lang yung naikulong mo, no? At parang ang pinalalabas mo, Yusek lang ang kayang gumawa ng lahat ng nangyari. No, kung ganun pa din ang magiging resulta, talagang pilitin na nating mag-resign to lahat, hindi isa lang. Kasi kapag pumalit yung isa, hindi tayo nakakasiguro. So malaking kinalaman ito doon sa pag-resign nila DBM Secretary at ES Bersamin. Not so much because they're involved, but because even before a formal investigation can be started, ginudge na sila kagad ng mga tao ng mga DDS. Hindi ba't ganyan din ang nangyari kay Speaker Martin Romualdez? Hindi ko sinasabing wala siyang kinalaman dito, pero hindi ba't yung title na tambaloslos, bago pa pumutok lahat itong issue na ito, pinalabas na nila. So ganun sila kagaling no, yung sirain ang imahe ng isang tao at gumawa ng istorya. Yan ang problema, kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng hatian. But again, if I may emphasize, siguro maswerte tayo kung meron tayong makikita isa, dalawa na politiko na talagang masasabi nating malinis. Because again, given the kind of politics and governance that we have, we really cannot excuse or free anyone from blame, either because of omission or commission. So, yun lang ang aking explanation dyan. Wala nang iba.
So would you say then, marami nagsasabi, good move daw yung ginawa ni Ombudsman Remulla with the kinds of cases he filed to ensure na may possibly a high rate of success kaysa yung pipilitin daw niya yung big amount, I think that was plunder, na may pag-asa na baka daw matagal, ma-delay, ma-dismiss due to technicalities. So would you say na maganda yung direction niya na he will file cases, for example kay Saldico, per case, per corruption issue daw, hindi niya as a whole?
I think he's in a far better position to determine that, and I will, of course, defer to him. He's not just an ombudsman. He's not just a former DOJ secretary. He's not just a lawyer, but his experience really is very much into prosecution. So, and kahit yung mga kilala ko mga abogado na talagang may experience pagdating sa pagtatry ng mga kaso, yan din ang nadidinig ko. So, I suppose it's a well-advised move on the part of the ombudsman.
Well, yung nangyari pong speech ng kapatid ni si Senator Amy Marcos, and of course, we all know sister ng ating Pangulo during the peace rally of INC, has become headlines of international news yesterday. What do you think is going to be the effect on this on our country? Politically, economically,
oo.
Alam mo, two takeaways, Angela, no? One, you mentioned about the speech. I don't know whether we can even call that a speech, no?
rant?
And sabihin na natin na totoo yung nagsasabi ni Senator Amy. It leaves a bad taste in the mouth, so to speak. Sabi nga ni Senator Ping Lacson, hindi Filipino yung ganitong paraan eh. Kasi kung merong problema, no, lalong-lalo na sa magkapatid, at yun ang nakakalungkot dito, magkapatid ito. Hindi ba ninyo pwedeng pag-usapan yan? No, meron pang mga babalikan ko yung DD. Tonto ako dito sa mga to. Akala nila nabibuisit nila ako eh. Baka sila nabibuisit sa akin, no? So, ang sinasabi ko lang, no, sabi nila magkapatid daw. So, kailangan daw paniwalaan natin. Sabi ko, ako, matanda na ako, kako. Kaming magkakapatid, magkakasama kami nung kaming mga bata. And therefore, we actually know what's going on in our individual lives. Pero eventually, pag nagkatrabaho ka, nagkaroon ka ng sarili mong pamilya, eventually, hindi mo na alam talaga kung ano nangyayari, no? And let me just put was this an end to and I hope it can put an end. Alam mo, script talaga yung sinusunod ng mga DDS eh. Umpisa pa lang, pinaparatangan na nila ang Pangulo na gumagamit ng droga. Hindi resonate, hindi pinapansin. So, kumambyo sila, corruption yung hinanap nilang issue. Sinakyan nila itong issue ng corruption. No? Hindi pa din nag-stick. No? Actually, kung hindi pa nag-bombshell ang presidente nung SONA, hindi naman magdidikit yung corruption eh. Pero sila nagsimula nung akusasyon ng corruption, nag-backfire sa kanila. No? Kasi for obvious reasons, lalo na nung iniimbestigahan nito mga corruption na to, much of what transpired have been traced in the previous administration. So, pagka sinasabi nilang marumi itong gobyernong to at malinis yung nakaraang gobyerno, parang hindi ka ba nanginginig dyan sa pinagsasabi mo? So, hindi nag-work yung corruption, bumalik sila ngayon sa droga na hindi na nila natandaan na matagal na itong issue ng droga na ito. Huling-huli, kung talagang nagdodroga ang Pangulo, makikita mo naman sa pananalita ng Pangulo. Makikita mo sa galaw ng Pangulo. I don't know, but I've seen so many people who are actually drug addicts, so to speak. And you can very well say in the physical appearance of the person who's a user, who's an addict, and even in the behavior, take note yung health ng isang tao. Kung sa edad ng Pangulo at gumagana pa ng maayos yung mga pyesa niya, ibig sabihin that there's nothing wrong with him. Now, you mentioned another thing, foreign impact. I don't think it will have any foreign impact. Albeit that I will hazard to say na merong foreign interest dito. Kasi lagi ko nang ini-explain yan, and our firm has been really monitoring this, no? This is vintage playbook as far as with this modern warfare is concerned. Hindi naman putukan ng gera ngayon eh. Nagsisimula yan sa disinformation, no? At matagal na namin sinasabi to. It's a good thing that this time siguro hindi na maiiwasan tingnan ng mga otoridad na tingnan talaga itong foreign interference na ito, because whether we like it or not, it's already glaring. Saan ka nakakita mga aircon pa ng mga tent, no? Tapos talagang fleet of buses, no, coming from different areas, no, to orchestrate this kind of rally. And I will even specify it already. This is very much a playbook of our good friend China, no, which is also used in other countries. And we have already reports to verify this playbook, so to speak.
So, but for context and for our viewers, you're talking about yung rally sa EDSA done by the UPI, na ngayon merong issue po sa kanila na foreign funded yung kanilang naging rally doon, which is right now dininay naman po ni General Pokis. You're talking about that, right?
Yeah, you could say that is one of those possible possible activities and organizations funded by foreign entities, no, by China, to be more specific. Pero alam mo, more than the rallies, no, nagsisimula nga yan sa disinformation eh, no. Actually dapat tingnan ng gobyerno yung mga pages na nagpapakalat ng napakaraming fake news, no? Hindi naman nito lang nagsimula yan eh, no? So hindi lang ngayon lang nagsimula yan, Angelo, no? Matagal na.
Right.
Bago pa mag-eleksyon, grabe na, no? Yung mga nagpapalabas ng grabe ang gulo sa Pilipinas. Yun yung una nilang playbook eh.
Yes,
Merong, di ba, nakwento ko nga din dito sa programa ninyo na meron kaming tinignan na video na di umano, grabe na yung law and order. This was, I think 2 months before the midterm election. Pinalalabas nila na grabe na yung gulo, na meron pang, ang tawag dito, meron pang riot sa isang mall. Pero pagka tinignan mo yung video, may nakalagay doon na ang tawag dito, JCPenney.
Yes, that's right.
So sabi ko, wala naman JCPenney sa Pilipinas eh. At 2 bansa lang ang alam ko may JCPenney bukod sa Estados Unidos, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, Argentina. No? Paano naging mukha kasing mga Pilipino yung mga tao doon sa riot, no? Kasi mga Latino eh. So mga kahawig natin talaga ito, mga ito, no? Hindi ko sinasabing gwapo yung mga Pilipino, pero gwapo naman talaga. No? So in other words, alam mo, at the end of this day, hindi ako naiinis eh, na-amuse nga ako dito sa mga style nila, no? At ang lumalabas hindi mo talaga maloloko yung mga Pilipino. Hindi naman tayo mga ob eh. So lumalabas dito talagang from the very start there was already intent on the part of groups, no, to undermine the administration and essentially put in place someone that is friendlier to them. Let's just put it at that. Friendly to
So
them.
yung minomonitor nyo po yan, yung group ninyo, and you have a strong evidence to back up this theory?
I've in fact posted already in social media at least snapshots of our report, because again, at the end of the day, it's not for a private firm to say that this is actually happening. We can only say that it should be investigated. And this is what I'm saying. And again, it's a good thing na nakita ko na sa report na tinitingnan na nga talaga ito ng mga otoridad. No, ngayon kung sasabihin nila na Prof, wala naman kaming nakita eh. Well, at least we've already given them, no, initial reports in this regard. No, whether they will be able to trace it or not is an entirely different story. But again, what I'm saying is, while we don't have any specific evidence tying a particular country, we have reports detailing already a playbook. And in other words, if you put 2 and 2 things together, yung step-by-step process na ginagawa, no, na lumabas na sa ibang bansa, no, napakita na, no, and in fact maraming nakalistang mga bansa na talagang kasama doon sa kanilang operation, hindi malayo na talagang merong foreign interference at pwede nating sabihin na this particular country really, no, is involved.
Alright, with that, maraming salamat po ulit sa inyong insight. Professor Ed Montayo, President and CEO of the Political Economic Elemental Researchers and Strategists, or PEERS. Maraming salamat po muli. Well, we'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on Mo News.